All right, question 6-1. Ignacio and Oliver were playing a game. Each of them grabbed a handful of algebra tiles. They wanted to see those expressions had a greater value. Two expressions can be compared by dividing the expression mat in half to change it into an expression comparison mat. So we're going to do something like this. They split it in half. We're going to have person here, person here. Then the two expressions can be built side by side and compared to see which one is greater. Oliver put his tiles on mat A, described as positive 3 and negative or positive 5 and negative 3. So positive 5, negative 3. Ignacio put his tiles on mat B as negative 5 and then a positive 2. With your team, find two different methods to simplify the two expressions so you can compare them. Which side of the mat is larger? So we want to find which is larger. So I've set this up, and let's see. We have mat A over here, mat B over here, and on mat A, we have 5 positives combined with 3 negatives. And on mat B, we have 5 negatives, and we want to compare that with 2 positives. All right, so I'm going to drag my tiles up. So we have 5 positives, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have 3 negatives, 1, 2, 3. Over here, we have 5 negatives, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're negative. So we're going to switch them on over. Maybe. There we go. So there's 5 negatives, and now I have 2 positives. All right. So our job is to find out which side is larger. And we got to do this 2 different ways. So the first way, I guess I would do this is I would do 0 pairs. So these create a 0 pair, so we can take them off the mat. Here's another set of 0 pairs, so we can take them off the mat. Here's another set of 0 pairs, so we can take them off the mat. All right, and that's just old school when we started how to combine positive and negative numbers. On this side, we can do the same thing. Set of 0 pairs. Here I have a set of 0 pairs. And now I can compare these two sides, and I definitely see that this side is larger, has 2 positives. This has 3 negatives. So therefore, this side is larger. So if I wanted to, I could put an inequality symbol. The mouth always points to the biggest side. So if this was the alligator, which a lot of you guys have been taught in the past for inequalities, we know that the mouth opens up to the larger side. So that's one way that we could do this. Another way is, let me set my board back up. So once again, I have 5 positives, and then I have 3 negatives. And let's flip them over and make them negatives. Over here, I had 5 positives, or 5 negatives, sorry, and 2 positives. All right, so I need to come up with a different way to compare that these are the same. So here's a little different way that we could do this. I can take the same amount off of each side. So like if this has a positive 1 and this side has a positive 1, if I take the same thing off of each side, then that's okay because I'm taking 1 positive off of each side. They're kind of cancel each other out. Here's another positive on this side, another positive on this side. So since I'm taking the same thing off of both sides, then that's okay. Like A has $1, B has $1. If I take $1 away from both sides, they both lose $1. So they're both losing equally. I could also take a negative off of this side and a negative off of this side, and then they go away. I could take a negative off of this side and a negative off of this side. They go away. I could take a negative off of this side and a negative off of this side. Notice I'm taking the same amount off of each side. And I think that's it. I don't have any 0 pairs over here. I don't have any 0 pairs over here. I can't take the same thing off of each side anymore because this is a positive and that's a negative. And so now I can tell that this side is larger. So once again, the mouth opens up to the biggest side. So A is greater than B. So there's 2 different ways that we can kind of compare different sides. We could make 0 pairs, like we did in the first one. So get to the right thing. So I could do 0 pairs to simplify, or I can also take the same thing off of both sides. Okay. So that's two different ways that we can simplify. And the second way is something new, but I definitely wanted you to see that. So let's go back to our question. Find two different ways to simplify the two expressions so you can compare them. Which side of the mat is larger? So we definitely know that this side of the mat was larger. So we have two different ways we can take things off of mats now.